There we go. Helps if you turn on the mic when you do these shows. All right, how's everybody doing today? Let's hop straight into this. Let's talk about crypto. There's blood in the streets. Ah. How do you like your crypto now, Rich? You should have bought gold and silver. Ha ha ha. Oh, this will be fun. Okay, so you guys are looking for some feedback, whatever, my opinion on what's going on with the crypto markets and what I think of them and how I use them. So you've been asking, I shall tell you. I shall dispense. This is a solo show today. I don't have a guest. I got a guest next week. I'm going to be doing, I think George Gammon's scheduled in. We're going to be doing a little chat about the economy and such. But today I want to talk to you guys about cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, staking, doubling your Bitcoin, a bunch of strategies that I've learned over the years that I've found have worked and what hasn't. If you guys are arriving, do me a solid and hit the like button. It just helps me out with the algorithms. And let's get right into this, man. I'll probably drop the join link for you guys to ask questions towards the end of the show. I've got maybe 60 to 90 minutes to do this one, so I got loads of time. We'll be able to cover lots on this. So buckle up, guys, buckle up. All right, so what should we start with? And feel free to drop questions in the chat. The questions will be thrown up on the screen. I'll get to them as I get to them. Generally, the super chats pop better. So what coins am I buying? Let's start. Actually, let's start with what's going on here right now, because we're in a massive correction. It's not even massive, but it's a big correction. Let's just let's call it what it is. It's a correction. The whole markets go sideways. They go up, they go down, they go left, they go right. That's what they do. Volatility is good. It's like, listen, people that freak out and get pissed off about the crypto markets, oh, I lost the bag, or da 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 da, or usually it's for one of two reasons. The first reason is they don't have a long enough timeline, meaning they're focused in the very short term. They're hoping to 10,000x a $2,000 investment in some shit coin that's in the top 19,000 or something like that. And it was a terrible investment and it went nowhere and they lost everything on something they rolled the dice on they thought was going to make a huge amount of money. And the other part of it too is a lot of guys, they'll buy Bitcoin or Ethereum or something in the top 10, but then they'll go and swap it out or they'll trade it for some other shitcoin, or they don't have a long enough timeline. Realistically, first tip for you, biggest tip that I would give you, and it's one that I adopted probably in the last couple of years. I mean, I've been playing around with cryptocurrency since 2017. I think I even have videos on the channel from way back in the day too, just talking about random shit that I was tripping across when it became interesting for me. But if you're not invested over, let's say a 4 to 10 year timeline, it should be at least 4 years, right? If you're not getting into crypto for the long haul, you're in the wrong spot. Honestly, dude, you're probably going to get wrecked. You're probably going to lose the farm. You're going to put it in some stupid shit that you saw on a YouTube video or a friend told you about, or some rando, across the streets talking about it to some other rando who's done nothing with their life, and they recommend some shit coin, and then you go and pile it all in because some stranger says, oh, this is a little known secret and I have insider information or something like that. These guys get wrecked all the time. So the first tip that I would want to dispense on you guys is think longer term. Definitely think longer term, way longer term. Those of you that are trying to buy in and out in 4 months or 6 months or 12 months or a year and a half or 2 years, my opinion, don't. And I'm going to tell you what I do, which works and makes me money. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, what do we got here on the crypto markets today? I just use CoinMarketCap. I know other people like other platforms, but currently they've got 19,419 cryptocurrencies listed. You think that you're going to roll the dice in anything that's out of the top 10 and win? Really? You have a crystal ball you can lead into the future and see what's going on? Because the vast majority, and when I say the vast, I'm talking 99.99% of all of those coins are not going to be around probably in 5 to 10 years. In fact, it'd be an interesting experiment. I'm sure somebody's done this at some point. If they went back to pre-2017 levels and checked the list, and I think back then there was something like 9 or 10,000, so about half the amount of coins today. Probably the vast majority of those have gone to nothing or disappeared. Okay. So the vast majorities are going to disappear. The reason that I only play in the top 10 is because of that. I've learned my lesson. I've put vast amounts of money in shit coins, and for the most part, I lose it. Okay. It doesn't go anywhere. You get pissed off. You feel let down. Somebody lied to you. It's mostly because pump and dumps, right? And that's one of the things you got to be careful with, like the YouTubes today, is there's a lot of guys that run channels that have vested interest in cryptocurrencies that they then push on their audience, or, their PDF or their Gumroad or their course or whatever. A shitload of people buy it. That pumps up the price of it. And then they get out and they take profits. And then you guys are left holding your, with nothing. So my next piece of advice is stay in the top 10. Do not mess around with anything outside of that. If you want to go into the top 100, if you've got something going on that you know about, it's well researched. But generally speaking, my advice to newer guys is stay in the top 10. You really can't go wrong if you buy and hold Bitcoin or Ethereum over 5 or 10 years. I think the chances of you doubling, tripling, or quadrupling your money are much, much higher, significantly higher, in fact, than you finding some shit coin in the top 19,000 that you're going to put a few grand in that's going to turn into 2 million. Chances of it happening are very slim. I'm just being honest. I've played those odds. I've looked at the odds. The odds are even worse today than what they were in 2017 when we had half the coins on the list and you had half to choose from. But the proven winner is still Bitcoin. That's where all the institutional money goes. That's where Michael Saylor puts all of his money. That's where all the big guys are parking it. That's where the ETFs come from, the pension funds. Australia just launched, I think, an ETF today. Canada's had several of them for quite a few years now that have been licensed and regulated. QBTC, I think, is the one that I've had for a while. And it's cool because, you've got an RRSP or some kind of retirement plan. You just throw some money into it. It goes up when Bitcoin goes up. It goes down when Bitcoin goes down. I don't need that money probably for 15 or 20 years. So I don't really give a shit what happens in the short term. And neither should you, to be honest with you. You need to think longer term. Everybody that's so pissed off today about the markets, oh, it's red, it's a bloodbath. It's because you're not thinking long term. If you zoom out on, where's the Bitcoin chart here? Let me throw it up on the screen. Share. Window and boom. If you zoom out, and where are we at right now? This is 1 day. What a beauty. What a beauty. I've been buying all across here, and I'm going to show you how I use B2X loans to double my Bitcoin for practically free towards the end of the show, so stay tuned for that. So let's zoom out. Let's go all. Okay? I bought Bitcoin all the way up on 2017. I also bought it here in 2017 as well. And I sold some Bitcoin up around 20, up over here on the way up again. Had I held on to it, I would have been far better off. It would have still shown a profit on my balance sheet had I held that. Basically, it's a long hold thing, right? Everybody thought that, the bubble was going to burst. It was going to go to zero when it was at, I think 19,000, 19,400, I don't know, whatever it was. It was like 20,000, just over 20,000 Canadian. Everybody thought it was all going to go down and disappear, and they panicked, and the market collapsed, and it went down to 3,000 and change. And I bought a whole bunch down over here and here as well too. But if you just buy it and hold it long term, because you don't need it ideally for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there's only 21 million of these things. They're never going to make any more of them. They can't make any more of them. It's impossible. Okay, it's in the code, right? There's a lot of people that come up with reasons why it's going to fail, or gold is better, or silver is better, or this stonk's better, or that stonk's better. Good, go buy them. I don't give a fuck. Buy whatever you think works for you. I'm just sharing with you guys what I've seen and what works for me. And I've got at least 50 or 60% of my money in cryptocurrencies, and that's mostly Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I'm just telling you what I do, straight up. All right. Whether you bought here, or here, or here, it doesn't matter. This chart's going to keep going up over time. It's a proven strong asset class that outperforms every other asset class out there and has done so for years now. So I don't care. Don't listen to me. What do I know? right? I'm just showing you what I see. I just point to the facts. You may not like them. It doesn't matter to me. All right, so let's talk about, I got some other notes here, how to not get wrecked. We talked about the shit coins. Oh, let's talk about some of the other stuff out there. Look, NFTs, who is it? Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary V. Gary Vaynerchuk has been selling his shit out of NFTs. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, he declared that he made, I don't know what the number was. It was tens of millions. It might have been 70 or 80 million, but it was a huge number. Somebody can correct me in the chat. But he made a huge amount of money selling NFTs. NFTs have a use case. Not right now, though. If you're buying apes, bored apes, pineapples, lions, I don't give a shit what you're buying. Whatever cartoon character you're buying, you're wasting your money. Jack Dorsey's first tweet, you know, whatever the fuck it is. Like, whatever you're buying right now when it comes to NFTs, don't. Like, just don't, guys. Okay? I'm just saying it. It needs to be said. Oh, man. I already feel like my blood pressure's going up looking at some of these over here. Thanks for the podcast and entrepreneurship content. Thanks, brother. All right. So what else should we cover here? How familiar are you guys with staking? Do you guys do any staking right now? Let me know in the chat. Let me just go. Actually, let me put a little poll here in the chat for you guys. There's a poll button. Poll. There it is. Okay. Let's see what you guys are at. Are you buying Bitcoin right now? Ask your community. All right, take that poll. Let's see where you guys are. Are you buying? Are you scared? Are you sitting on the sidelines? Are you not buying? Do you think it's going to go lower? You guys let me know. Let's see what that thing comes up with. You gotta love these live polls, man. This is so cool. You know, when I started doing this YouTube stuff in 2014, none of this shit existed. It was turn on the camera and talk to it. Live streaming, polls, super chats, StreamYard, all like, dude. Anyway, so we talked about NFTs, talked about shit coins, coins to buy. Again, coins to buy, I always try to stay in the top 10. I'm just going to tell you the ones that I like. You guys do what you want. I know some of you are going to disagree or agree. What do we got? We got Bitcoin, which is clearly a store of value. Few people will still debate that today, although there are some people that aren't particularly smart and seem to think otherwise. But they're trying to sell you something. I mean, Peter Schiff is trying to sell you gold, and he doesn't even hold a lot of gold. So it goes to show you where, you know, he puts his money. He doesn't put it where his mouth is, that's for sure. Ethereum, smart contract, unlimited supply. They do burn it, so that increases the value. But it has real world use cases. It's not for just bored monkeys or apes or lions or pineapples or whatever the hell it is that, you know, these NFT nerds are all pushing right now. But it has real world use cases way down the road. Tether, you're not going to make any money off Tether unless you want to get fiat currency onto the blockchain and stake it. Staking rates used to be great. Tether, USDC are basically the top two right now. They're pinned to the US dollar. And you can earn really good rates on them. I think in the past they were as high as 12%. You might be able to get rates that high on some places like Thorchain. But on like standard staking sites, which I'll be talking about as well in this cast, the rates have dropped down to 7.5 to 8.5, 9%. They're not that high anymore. So it's basically a wash with inflation. But if you've got cash, like honestly, dude, at the end of the day, if you're sitting on $500, $1,000, 50,000, 100,000, it doesn't matter. Whatever cash you're sitting on right now is becoming worth less and less every single month. There's no question about that. It's not open for debate. Inflation is destroying the buying power of your fiat currency. The blockchain, Bitcoin, and a lot of these solve that. There was a stat that I saw the other day that $1 US, I think from 1920, has lost 99.97% of its value, like buying power, because of inflation. So if you're sitting on cash or stashing cash under your mattress or putting it in a safe, you know, the other day I was over at a friend's house and he's in the trades. He's a contractor. And we had to go to his safe. We were talking about precious metal and he opened it up and he had like stacks of cash. I'm like, dude, what the fuck are you doing holding on to all this cash? I'm like, it's worth like 8, 10, 15% less every single month. I'm like, convert it to like USDC and then earn some interest on it if you're afraid of like cryptocurrency, or at least start with something. My advice in these markets at these lowest prices, buy crypto, buy Bitcoin. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't you? I don't know, man. But anyway, so the pin to the US dollar, USDC, Tether, BNB, Binance, it's whatever. It's on the Binance blockchain. I can't really use that anymore because I'm in Ontario, and they took that away from us. I used to love using Binance. It was so easy to use, access to so many coins. The Ontario Securities Commission took that away, so can't use that anymore if you're here. But BNB has future promise. They might open up like a Binance.ca or Binance.ontario.ca or something like that for people here that can start to use it again. But they don't comply with regulations. And that's the thing with regulations. You know, regulations are coming. XRP Ripple, not a big fan. Centralized. Banks love it. Banks will be using it quite a bit in the future at 39 cents. What else is in the top 10? Binance USD, which is another stable coin by Binance. Cardano, smart contract, very fast. I believe there's a limited supply. Let me just double check here. Max supply. Yeah, there's a maximum supply, so that's good. Binance USDC, Solana, another smart contract deal. There is no max supply, so it's like Ethereum. Beautiful thing about Solana is it's super fast, man. Whenever I've bought it or moved it around or put it anywhere, it's basically instant. I think it's faster than credit card processing, if I'm not mistaken. But the ones that I have in the top 10, Bitcoin, Ethereum, I've got some USDC in certain timing of the market, which I'll explain a little bit. I've got some Binance, I've got Cardano, I've got some XRP to make profit from what the banks are going to do with it. I've got Solana. I got a bet on Polkadot as well. And that's really it. I don't touch much else. That's it. But again, like 85% of it's probably Bitcoin. Maybe like 90% of it's probably Bitcoin and Ethereum, if I'm being honest. Most of it is in the top 2. So that's just how I play it. You want to throw, grab a bunch of something else. Cardano is cheap, 50 cents. I mean, you can buy, 10,000 of them for like $5,000. It could go up to $30. It could go up to $300. Who knows what it's going to do in the future? But one of the things that I've been doing, to kind of offer a little bit of insight is I'll pay very close attention to Google Trends. And I'll also pay very close attention to where developers are spending their time on what platforms. Solana's attracted a lot of developers. Cardano's got some. Ethereum, of course, has a ton. Polkadot has some as well. So, it seems like, I think anyway, Polkadot, Solana, Cardano, those will be the ones competing for the next place behind Ethereum. Which one of those take off? I don't know. We'll know in time, but the market's correcting right now. This is your buying opportunity, by the way. If you've never got into Bitcoin, this is probably going to be one of your last chances to buy one Bitcoin for under $30,000. Is that going to happen again? I doubt it. It may not. But by the time the next halving comes around, in 2 years, the chances of you buying a Bitcoin under 30,000 are pretty much going to be zero. I can tell you that right now. But anyway, what do I know? People don't like to listen to everything, so they want to argue all the time, right? Saul Gray, what's your opinion of the agency to buy Bitcoin from Acorn? I don't know what Acorn is. What's Acorn? Let me have a quick look here. What's Acorn? Related to Bitcoin. Looks like it's an investment site. It's probably American. I've not heard of it. Yeah, I've not heard of it. It's not something that I'm familiar with. Sorry, dude. Okay, so let's talk about USDC accumulation. Actually, let's talk about staking first. You guys want to do staking? Let's do staking. Let's see how this poll's doing, by the way. Where is everybody on this? Are you buying Bitcoin right now? Yes, 47%. No, 53%. Dude. The 53% of you that are saying no, have fun being poor. Anyway, that's actually great news, because if we're able to sustain the price of Bitcoin right now with more than half of my audience, which is mostly unplugged, you guys are definitely red-pilled, still thinking that you need to sit on the sidelines and not accumulate Bitcoin, that's a great thing, because there's tons of money coming in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, less than 2 or 3% of the world population has a Bitcoin wallet. Not much. And they ain't making any more of it. Don't go spending your money on NFTs. Don't go spending your money on fucking real estate in the metaverse. Guys living in their parents' basement buying real estate in the metaverse when they don't own their own fucking house. Come on, guys. Smarten up. Let's get on top of things here. All right, so let's talk about staking. So I got an email the other day from one of these or a notification. So I'm not going to mention them because people get pissed off when you talk shit about their companies. But I got a notification from this high interest savings account that I have a account with that I used to store cash in. And I'm laughing because it's so funny because they're offering you a promotional rate on what is this asking me to verify right now? Cancel. They're offering you a promotional rate on US dollars deposited, I think at 1.25%. The rate of inflation's definitely over 10% when you add it all up and roll it all in. And they're offering you a promotional rate of just over 1%. Like, oh, wow, that's awesome. I should go convert everything I have to US dollars and stick it on your shitty platform to make just over 1%, while inflation erodes away the buying value of any currency that I have. Like, people still fall for this shit. It's unreal to me. But hey, you guys will be believers in time. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but you will be believers when you see Bitcoin up over 100,000 and up over 500,000 and up over 1 million. Anyway, I've placed my bets. Sit on the sideline if you want. So let's talk about the cycles and accumulation of Bitcoin using USDC. I've put are they here in my description? Yeah, okay. So so if you go to the description of the video, I've dropped links in for a platform that I use a ton of called Lendin.io and Hodlnaut.com. I'm going to be talking about those in a minute. Let me get the super chat. I think Bitcoin has a bit further down to go. I bought 10K of Cadena. Cadena, what the hell is Cadena? Is that like another shit coin that I've never heard of? Let's see. Kade. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Why? Why would you spend your money on this dog shit? Anyway, do as you want with that. Do as you want with that. JC says, whatever happened to becoming a millionaire the old-fashioned way? This is the new fashion way, JC. This is the new fashion way. In 5 to 10 years, I mean, if you can accumulate a couple of Bitcoin, in 5 to 10 years, you'll be just fine. You'll be more than just fine. But don't listen to me. Doesn't matter to me. That just means there's more out there for me to buy. So let's talk about using some of these sites to increase your wealth. So let me throw this first one up over here. Add to stream. So I use this one a lot. It has multiple uses. I got introduced to this about 2 or 3 years ago. A buddy of mine was on the board, and I was asking him for places to stake crypto to earn some interest, and he told me about Lendin. So it's ledn.io. Don't go directly to it. If you go to the description of the video, there's an affiliate link where you and I will earn if you click through with that link. Okay, so this is just a standard staking site. And they also have another program called B2X. But the first thing that I want to talk about is the two coins that they deal with the most. It's USDC and it's Bitcoin. They're set up in Toronto. They're well regulated. They're properly structured. It's not a fly-by-night bullshit company, I can tell you that. So they have different programs with BTC and USD savings account. Right now, the rate is only 7.5% on USDC. But here's the strategy that I use. So let me show you the chart. Let's get rid of this Cadena dog shit over here. Buy my shitcoin. No. Okay. So let's pull out to let's go here. So let's deal with this past bull run here as an example, because I started doing this a couple years ago and it works well. So Bitcoin's around $10,000 here. Let's just, put it up over here. It starts to go up. I stopped buying Bitcoin. Okay, I see the prices going up. Good. You see the value of your portfolio going up. That's awesome. Holy shit. Now it's doubled. Holy crap. It's tripled. I've got cash. I'm not going to keep buying Bitcoin up at the top, up over here. So what I start doing is I go to London and I buy USDC. So I go to my exchange, I buy USDC, I transfer it over to London, and I earn whatever it is, 7.5%, 9.5%, 10%, whatever that rate is offered at the time. And I'm earning interest on a crypto that's pegged to the US dollar. It keeps going up. I keep buying more. I put 10 grand in, 20 grand in, 50, 100. It keeps going. It keeps going. Holy shit, now it's starting to go down. But guess what? The value of my USDC hasn't changed. It's still pegged to the US dollar. Holy shit, it's going down. It's going down. Oh, fuck. It went down to 35. By the time Bitcoin is worth half of what its value was at its peak, okay, let's say 63 up over here, and it's down to like 29. So less than half. When Bitcoin corrects, by the way, it does it routinely somewhere between 55 and 65, sometimes as much as 70, 75%. 75% is pretty extreme. But it routinely corrects from its highs by about 60% on average, back down, and then it comes back up, and it does the same thing all over and again. And if you ride these waves up, so on the wave up, you're buying USDC, 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 holy shit, it corrected, it's down at the bottom, it went down 60%. I push one button on Lending, on this platform, a trade button, and I can convert my USDC that I've been accumulating, earning interest on, to Bitcoin at the low price, right? Are you guys following me? And this is something that you can do over a prolonged period of time. You shouldn't be holding on to cash, okay? Fiat currency is dog shit. The US dollar is dog shit. It's still the world reserve currency for now, but that will change. What becomes a world reserve currency? Don't know. Could be Bitcoin, could be something else. But I'll tell you something right now. Bitcoin makes way better sense. And leveraging in with USDC into Bitcoin and then swapping them at highs and lows. Another thing that you could do if you wanted to, if you see a big run up, for example, like let's say price was around 10 grand. It doesn't keep going parabolic up to 1 million. It never does. A lot of people keep holding. So another thing that you could do is like, okay, there's an obvious bull run up here. It's like, holy shit, I bought a whole bunch at 10 grand, 15, 20 grand. Now it's worth 60. You can now take that Bitcoin, again, with the push of a button on the Lending platform and swap your Bitcoin for USDC. So now I'm holding on to a ton of USDC. Now, you can't time the market. You're never going to know when the top and when the bottom is. But again, run-ups can be big, but they don't keep going forever. They're not parabolic. Okay, they don't go into infinity. They always have to correct. So now you've converted USDC, it corrects, you convert the USDC back over to Bitcoin, and then you ride the wave back up and down again. It's a simple process. It's not complicated. I mean, you don't have to be a freaking genius to do it. You just have to, use some common sense. And when you see a big bull run and a big decline, like we're in right now, okay, the markets have corrected significantly. Where was the high? The high was 67 grand back in November, and we've what do we touch? 28 grand. Okay. A lot of people are like, oh, it's going to go down to 5 or 10 or 12. The last halving made Bitcoin stupid to mine under 18,000. It made no sense for miners to operate at a value lower than 18,000 at the last halving. So if the price drops below that, you can be pretty sure that the miners are going to stop mining, which is going to put less Bitcoin on the market. Whales are going to come in, pick up as much as they can, and they're going to profit in the long term because they're not stupid, right? So I don't see it going much lower. Will it go to 25? Will it go to 20? Maybe. Could do. I don't know. But like the point being is we've seen a massive correction. You should be accumulating Bitcoin right now, straight up. Okay. So if you follow that simple system, watching the waves and looking at the gains, you have a massive run up. It's not going to keep going. Holy shit, it's at 58. Holy shit, it's at 60. Stop holding. If you really want to, you can swap that out for USDC and then buy the Bitcoin again at the bottom and double your Bitcoin essentially with just a couple of quick swaps over a few months. This was April 2021 to July 2021. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Staking is another way, on the way up, of course, which we talked about, to earn the interest. I have to give you a fair warning, though, okay? Because I had an interesting conversation with the founder and CEO of what I got introduced to as a very cool staking company. I'm not going to mention the name, but I had an hour conversation with them because I put some crypto on their site to stake. They offered a tremendous interest rate. I think it was like 7% on Ether and like 6.5% on Bitcoin. And because I deposited an amount that triggered a audit or whatever it was, I started getting emails and calls from this fucking guy from the company that was asking for all kinds of information. Where did you get the crypto? We need to see proof of the deposits. We need to see proof of the purchases. Show us the wallet address. Show us this. And I'm just like, no, I'll just take my crypto back and I'll just leave then if that's the way that we're going to play. They were fairly new, and I got an email from the owner of the company because he was notified of my displeasure with what they were doing. And he shot me an email and he's like, hey man, I'm a big fan of your YouTube channel. I've been watching. I want to talk to you because we don't want you to leave, blah, blah, blah. So I talked to him for an hour. The thing you have to understand about a lot of these staking sites is, okay, how can I put this? Don't put too much money on a staking site. From what I gathered, and I wouldn't get like a direct answer on it, what I would ask, but from what I gathered, regulators, this was a European company, regulators are forcing them to get information on your purchases, your transfers, wallets, the source of the funds, and they can lock up your crypto. So they won't give it back to you until you provide that information. I was lucky because I ended up talking to the founder and CEO for quite a while about what they were doing and what they were asking for. And the long and short of it was, no, it's none of your business. I don't feel like giving anybody that information. If that's the problem, then I'll just take my crypto back. Now, had that been someone else, they might not have gotten it back. They might have had to provide the information. That there could have been any number of ways that could have unfolded. But generally speaking, I won't put any more than about 20 or 30 grand now on any staking site. That's it. Because anything that comes in at a higher level is going to trigger their interest on what that's all about. They're going to want to know everything they can about it. And it's not because they're being nosy. It's because they're either being forced to by regulators to collect the information and data on you, or they feel like the regulators are going to force them to do it in the coming months and they're trying to stay ahead of the curve. So just pro tip for those of you that are sitting on a bit of a bag, keep most of it in cold storage on your ledger, your Trezor, whatever it is that you're using. Keep most of it there, and don't put anything more than about 20 or 30 grand. I would say about 20, 25 grand if you want to be, conservative on any staking site. It doesn't matter what the interest rate. It's not worth it to have them dig through all your personal information and know about you. You want to stay off anybody's screen. Like, you don't want the attention. Trust me, you don't want the attention. I've got friends that have like hundreds of Bitcoins because they started early, and like they just disappear. They don't keep anything on any staking site. They don't care about the interest. Doesn't matter to them. And when you've got a few hundred of them, they're absolutely right. They just keep it in cold storage and it's off the blockchain and that's it. Right. So fair warning, staking's good, earn your interest, but play with smaller amounts. And as you accumulate Bitcoin and the balances get higher and higher, get it off the sites, put it on a cold storage wallet, just get it off the staking sites, or sign up for another staking site where you can also earn another 6 or 7%, and then you just distribute the new gains on the other site and you kind of spread it out. So sites like Celsius, Lendin, Hodlnaut, Crypto.com, even though their interest rates suck right now. Kraken has decent interest rates on some products. Binance, if you can use it, stuff like that. But yeah, so spread it out. Don't keep it all in one place. Basically, don't keep all your eggs in one basket is what I'm saying. Okay. So we've covered that. So we talked about staking. We talked about USDC swaps in accumulation to Bitcoin and back and forth. Oh, let's talk about the BTC loan. So the other thing that they offer here on lendin.io. And again, don't go directly to the site. If you click the link in the description of the video, it's an affiliate link. You and I both earn a couple of bucks when you set up the new account. So B2X loans is the other program that they offer. And all that means is to double your Bitcoin. So let me explain it to you. Actually, I'll explain it to you in terms of real estate, because that'll make far better sense. Because I mean, if you're following Saylor, you've probably heard him call Bitcoin digital real estate. So this will make perfect sense to you. So let's say that you own a house and you've paid off the mortgage and you own that asset. Oh, look. Let's use these. All right. Let's say this coin, it's a toonie. This is Canada. Let's say that this is my house and I've paid it off. I can now go out and accumulate another house and have two of them if I use the B2X program. Because what I do is I collateralize this new house with the old house, and now I have two houses. There's a loan that you then take out on the second house, just like a mortgage. Just like you would, if you're buying a house, renovating it, paying down the mortgage, and then you borrow against that house to get another house to accumulate more doors and build a real estate empire. That's how most guys start, is they just start with one, borrow against it, do another one, borrow against that one, do it over again. So the B2X loans is a very similar sort of thing. And the fact that they offer this shows you how stable Bitcoin is and how much interest there is in accumulating and using Bitcoin as collateral, because that's essentially what they're doing. They're taking one of my Bitcoins as collateral. They're giving me another of my Bitcoins. And what I do is I have a loan on that now. So here's how it works. You only do this when there's a market correction. So where's my chart over here? Add to stream. So because there's a market correction right now, you don't do this when the market's going up, by the way. Because there's a market correction right now, I can accumulate a second Bitcoin, let's say for $29,684. Okay, I have a loan on that, and on Lendin it's about 9%. I don't make any payments on the loan. I don't have to connect my bank account to it or anything like that. All they do is, because they've got collateral on this existing Bitcoin, because I've signed for it, if I don't like, let's say the value drops or something like that, or something happens in my account, they've got that as collateral and they can take it to pay off the loan so that they're not out of pocket. It's the same way banks work when they give you a mortgage, so it's no different. So I now have my second Bitcoin or my second home for $29,684. Let's say in 6 months time or 8 months time, Bitcoin goes back up to $40,000, $50,000, $60,000. I might have paid $2,000 or $3,000 in interest on that loan, which I don't actually pay out of pocket. It just keeps adding it to the balance that you owe. Then what you do is you pay off that debt with that Bitcoin or that home, whatever it is we're going to call it. And then you're left over with an additional $20,000 of Bitcoin, depending on what you sell it for. So these B2X loans come in real handy when the market corrects. And I've done it quite a few times over the last couple of years since they introduced this B2X program, because I've been using Lendin for a few years now, and it's like, I'm doing the up and down stuff. I'm buying USDC, I'm buying Bitcoin, I'm doing all that stuff, and I'm staking it, and I'm pulling it off, and I'm putting it on cold storage. And I see this B2X thing, and I just took out a loan, like around here somewhere like this, on $35,000, right, on one Bitcoin. And this was when? July. This was around July, let's say. Yeah, it was around the summertime. Bitcoin goes back up to about 64,000 in July up to October. July, August, September, October. That's 4 months. So in 4 months, I've doubled the value of the Bitcoin. I pay off that new Bitcoin with the loan, and I'm left over with, I probably paid about $4,000 in interest, if I'm being honest. So I'm probably left over with about $25,000 or so, depending on what I sold it for and what I bought it for. And that's free. You didn't have to do anything except for push a couple of buttons and stake your Bitcoin. How people don't understand this is beyond me. Trust me, guys. Go to Lendin, sign up with the affiliate code that I've got in the description, and just begin. Begin with a small amount until you get your head around it. It is the simplest thing. You ever see those kids playing with like the blocks and the circles and the triangles and the square, and they try to put a triangle in a circle and it doesn't go in, and they keep randomly trying things until stuff goes in? It's exactly how, it's so simple. It's so simple. A 5-year-old could probably do it. Honestly, it's not difficult, guys. So the B2X program, that's it. You have any questions, drop them in the chat, or you can call in towards the end of the show. Actually, I'm getting close to the end of my notes over here, so let me drop the call-in link if you guys have questions. Invite, copy to clipboard, call in and ask a question live. Okay, so I'll drop that in there, and boom. Where are we with the poll? Let's see where you guys are at. Still 55% say no. 669 votes. 55% of you do not hold or buy Bitcoin right now. Do not buy Bitcoin right now. Interesting. Okay. Pin message to the top. Okay, so I've replaced the poll with the there it is, with the StreamYard link. So if you guys have a question, you can call in. All right, so there's that. Oh, staking sites. Somebody was asking about staking sites in the chat. So the ones that I would recommend that are simple to use and I've had no trouble with are, again, you're going to want to use either Lendin, where there in the description, there's an affiliate link for both of us to earn. The other one that I like is Hodlnaut, which pays a lot more in interest. They're in Singapore, though. I would not put more than about 20 grand on this one. So again, don't put your bag on it. Put like maybe 5 or 10% if you want to do a little bit of staking and sort of play with it. But they have Bitcoin, DAI, Ethereum, USDC, USDT, USDT, and Luna. Anyway, you can, the cool thing about this site that I like is that you can earn, so you can stake Ether and you can earn in Bitcoin. You can stake USDC and you can earn in Bitcoin. Or you can stake in USDC and you can earn USDC. And they have the same exact button that Lendin has, where you can trade with the push of one button from USDC to Bitcoin. So I was sitting on some USDC in my staking accounts. I see the market correct. I wait for a nice 40 to 50% correction. Then I start to pay very close attention daily, sometimes multiple times throughout the day. I look for an opportunity to push a button that converts my USDC that I've accumulated, earning interest on it, at a lower Bitcoin price. It's very simple. It's not a difficult process. It only becomes difficult when you try to think that you have a crystal ball and you can see into the future and make predictions about, you know, coins and, if you buy now, it's like buying Bitcoin in 2010, dude. Yeah. How do you know that? Most of them don't. They're just running their mouths trying to sell you shit. I got a note here about using limit orders. So if you're doing any kind of purchases where you're converting fiat, so I set up a business trading account, and it's pretty easy for you to buy at limit rates. It's really cool, especially when the market's going down. I mean, so if you don't know what a limit order is, it's basically, let's go over here to the last month, add to stream. There we go. And let's get this thing off the screen. So if you're watching the markets do this shit, and you're like, oh, that's fucking interesting, it's corrected. We're down about 40 or 50 or 60% now. And in and around here, you move some fiat currency into your exchange that you use to buy crypto with, from fiat. And you set a limit order in because the price is tanking. I set a limit order in. I set two, actually. I set one at 26.5, which filled because Bitcoin dropped down to like 25 and change or 24 and change. And I set another one at 27.5, and that filled as well. So on the way down, you're grabbing it at a nice discount while you see all this shit happening. So make sure you use limit orders too, so that you get it at the best price. If you want to know how to use limit orders, just Google it. It's not complicated. This is the price that I want to buy it at, and this is the amount that I want to buy, and then it funds from your account. Converting, we talked about that. Perfect. All right, let's see what we got with Super Chats. Let's see what we got. Catch up here. We talked about Acorn. I don't know what the hell that was. Remove. I think Bitcoin has a bit further down to go. I bought 10. Oh, we talked to Kadena. Ben and Breakfast. Thanks for your work, Rich. Just a heads up for people. Rich will not contact you about crypto, the bots and scams. Oh, yeah. I'm probably going to... thanks for reminding me. I'm going to have to turn off the comments on this video because whenever you talk about anything cryptocurrency, all these fucking scammers come out going, hey, WhatsApp me. And it looks like me because they use my icon and they create this like, I'll never contact you and say WhatsApp me to buy crypto. So if you ever see that in any of my videos, again, thanks for the reminder, Ben and Breakfast. Appreciate it. Block those motherfuckers or just report them. All right, let's do a quick ad roll. And we'll get you guys to answer, do a little bit of Q&A. So let me just pay a few bills. This episode is brought to you by the Unplugged Alpha Supplement Line, Grondike Soap Company, and Chad's Face Scrub. Brothers, if you're like me and you take what you put in your body seriously, you'll want to use the Unplugged Alpha Supplement Line. An obsession with absorption is what sets this line apart from the others. You want to make sure you absorb as much of the supplements as possible so you don't end up peeing out expensive urine. My supplement line is made in the United States from the highest quality domestic ingredients, and unlike cheap supplements from China and plastic bottles, mine ship in dark glass bottles to keep your supplements fresher, longer, and won't seep endocrine disrupting plastics into your supplements. Nothing is a hard tablet. Everything is an easily digested bioavailable capsule. You can filter all products by their various categories, including testosterone support, estrogen metabolism, fat burning, immune health, sleep support, and performance. Visit theunpluggedalpha.com/shop and use the subscribe and save option to get 10% off your supplement orders, or just use coupon code ALPHA10 for 10% off a one-time order to try it out. Men, I use Tactical Soap and God of War beard oil every day. Tactical Soap is a handmade product made in the United States from ingredients you can actually pronounce, not conventional endocrine-lowering toiletry chemicals. Both the soap and beard oils are infused with bioidentical pheromones that are designed by a clinical psychologist and pheromone expert to maximize attractiveness to the opposite sex. Visit coopersoap.com and get 10% off your order today. Gentlemen, my go-to face scrub to keep this manly face clean and clear is Chad's. Again, it's incredibly important to me to only use products with all natural ingredients without nasty chemicals that disrupt male hormone levels or convert to estrogen in your body. And unlike watery scrubs that slip between your fingers, this thick face scrub with black lava sand gives you powerful results in one go. Visit getchads.com and you'll be redirected to the Amazon store. You'll get 10% off when you use coupon code GETCHADS10. You can find all the links I've just mentioned pinned below in the top YouTube comment. If you want to learn more about why I endorse these natural products to my audience, search on my YouTube channel for an episode I did with Dr. Anthony J titled Playing to Win number 21, How Estrogenics Make You Fat, Sick, and Infertile with Dr. Anthony J. Let's get on with the show. All right, we're back. Let's take some of these questions here now. I got a bunch of guys. Let's see what we got here. Bentley, Farid. You guys can let me know in the chat what it is you want to talk about. Andrew says he has a buying strategy during this obvious correction. Let's see what Andrew's got for us. What's up, buddy? You're muted, by the way.
Oh, hey, Rich. Yeah, so I just wanted to ask a quick question about what you would recommend in terms of buying strategies for something like this. Like, it seems like a strategy would be to have like a highly frequent dollar cost averaging strategy on the way down, or do you just sort of have some liquid capital and just fire away when you reach a certain point? Just would kind of to pick your brain and see what kind of strategies you use.
Well, like I said during the show, like anytime I see a dip more than about 50%, 60%, that's like, okay, I'm very comfortable buying a shit ton of Bitcoin at that price. Will it go down a little bit lower? Maybe, but like you can never time the exact bottom. It's just, okay, it's corrected over 55, 60%. Like it's not going to go that much lower. It might go to 70%, but who cares? Because I'm a long-term holder anyway, and I'm going to be like holding on to this shit for the next 5 or 10 years. I don't really care what happens in the short term in the next like 30 days sort of thing. It's also the other reason why I use the B2X program on London so often. Like I also use that in the last week as well, where I took out a couple of loans on some Bitcoin that I staked on there. And I'll pay off the loan with appreciated value of the Bitcoin in the coming 6 to 10 months.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Rich. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Thanks. Private chat. Okay, I would like, and guys, don't come on the show to shill your shit. If you start shilling something or trying to sell some coin, you're gonna get booted. Okay, so this is for Q&A on the topic of the stuff that I talked about. If you need any clarity or anything like that, Vinicus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Hey, man.
Hey, it's Vinicius, but doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay, I am a software developer and I invest in cryptocurrencies, but I would suggest using decentralized protocols
Hmm.
because I do work with banks. Most of the time, they don't know how to monetize crypto yet,
Hmm.
so they usually have a little less crypto than they should have. Um, so I would suggest using DeFi protocols.
DeFi protocols, exactly how? Can you offer some clarity?
Yeah, I am sharing my screen if you can share it.
Add to stream. Okay.
Okay, so like these protocols, but you can use any protocol that you want. This one is a leverage one, so you
Hmm.
can have a little bit more Bitcoin than you could use. They have two types of pools. You can have a lending pool. They
Hmm.
pay not really that much.
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Oh
It's
yeah.
not very clear. I'm not sure. Here, let me see if I can go larger screen on mine. I see it now. Okay, yeah.
So they don't really pay all that much
Yeah,
APY,
it's not
but
much different from the other sites. See, the problem that I've had using these DeFi sites, and I've used a few of them now, is they're not easy to use. And I'm trying to keep this simple for like the 55% that don't have Bitcoin, to
mhm.
give them an easy on ramp to start accumulating, some wealth with crypto, Bitcoin, USDC. The strategies that I talk about with borrowing against your Bitcoin, talking about the stuff in the top 10.
Yeah,
This
but
is a little bit more advanced.
they do have a one thing that it's really easy for most people. They
Hmm.
have an automated vault
Okay.
that opens up a short and long position in Bitcoin and pretty much any coin that you want.
You, you just lost
And
you just lost the 55% by talking about short and long positions,
okay,
and now you've got them paired up too, right? So
yeah,
again, this is like a little bit more advanced. I would advise you guys to start with a centralized exchange, start with acquiring some Bitcoin, start with some staking, and then once you start looking at DeFi protocols to earn higher interest rates, while not disclosing nearly as much information, then DeFi is a good avenue for that as well. But if you guys want to look into Alpaca, then I'll leave that on the table
yeah,
for you.
not
But thanks
just
for mentioning that.
Alpaca. You have Bancor and there's a lot of protocols like
Yeah.
Balancer as well.
Hmm.
You can have a lot of protocols.
Yeah,
And
there's loads of
but
them out there.
do not forget to buy an insurance if you use them. You have like Insurance or Nexus, and you can buy insurance for pretty much your whole portfolio in a protocol.
Again, you're talking about complex stuff that the 55% don't want anything to do with.
Yes, but if they do start to use DeFi, I would suggest buying insurance.
Got it. Okay, thanks, buddy. All right. Let's see what we got here. Member of the 10, Bentley. Bentley, where's Bentley? I don't see Bentley anymore. Let's see. We got Farid. Hey, buddy.
Hey Rich, how's it going, man? Can you hear me
Good, man. What do
okay?
you got for me? You look like you're a professional. You got the nice camera, the blurred background, the neon light.
Yeah, I run my own video production company.
Cool.
Thanks for having me on, man. So I just had some really quick, just words of advice. I haven't been in crypto as long as you, but I have, studied quite a bit, learned from others from
Mm.
before me. Now is like sort of the best time to start eyeing positions for you guys that are new and
Yeah.
start looking at like which coins you want to buy. You don't want to like buy into those crazy like euphoric mania phases like last year when there was shit like Dogecoin and Shiba and all these garbage meme coins.
Hmm.
Crypto's not dead. It's not a scam. Rich can attest to that as well. Just having patience and time in the market versus trying to time the market.
Yeah, I like to
Um,
do both. Like, definitely time in the market, but you can also make serious amounts of money if you can learn how to time the market by watching the trends of the up and downs with Bitcoin, like I was talking about during the show, and borrowing against existing Bitcoin that you have. Very, very easy way to make loads of money.
Absolutely, yeah. I moved in mostly heavily between September of 2020 to December of 2020, back
Hmm.
before like the bull run really took off. So you can definitely make a lot of money by lump summing.
Hmm.
But the other thing too, Rich, that I think is important to mention is just like risk management. you mentioned it. I mean, you did mention it. You mentioned not keeping all your coins in one place and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But like some of these DeFi protocols, like you basically have to assume that your money can be gone at any moment. So, you know, you saw what happened with Luna. You saw what happened with Anchor Protocol where it went down. It's like a penny now. Luna went from $120 to a penny. That was a top 10 coin.
Yep.
If you go on Reddit right now and you look at some of the stuff that people are posting, dude, people have lost their houses. They're in for like $500,000. So,
and that's what happens when you go all in on one shitcoin, right? I mean, you got to diversify, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, man, I didn't really have a ton to like ask. I just want to make sure that like people understand the risks. Even taking out like loans, like you said, totally fine after the market's gone down, but you still have to understand the downside risk. Like,
yeah,
it could go down further, and you could get margin called, and you could get liquidated.
Correct.
So
entirely possible.
Just, you know, there's no free lunch is what I'm trying to say. But you can totally make a ton of money in crypto. What Rich is saying, guys, like he knows what he's talking about. I just wanted to come on here and just offer a few like things that I've kind of seen play out.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the feedback. All right. Yeah. So I should have emphasized it more. I mean, if you take a loan out against any asset and the value of the asset drops below an acceptable level for the financial institution, then they can call that loan and seize the collateralized asset to pay off the loan so that they don't lose the money, which is why it's important that you only do this at market bottom. So if you're going to borrow against your Bitcoin to double it, the way that I've talked about. So I've done it 4 times, okay? 3 out of the 4 times I made loads of money. There was one time that it was a wash for me because I didn't, so that loan that ended up being a wash, I think I bought it at something like 39,000. Bitcoin went up to like 50 or 55 or 60 or something like that. I didn't sell. And it then went down to about 39, 40,000 and started hovering there for a long time. And then it got to the point where the interest was becoming more than the value of Bitcoin. And I didn't want to sit on it. So I just caught a day when it was basically a wash and I just paid off the loan, got my 1 Bitcoin back. They kept the other one, whatever they do. And I was out of that one. But the other 3 I made a ton of money on. So getting in when there's an obvious bottom matters. When I bought it that 39, it wasn't an obvious bottom. I was just whatever. I'm going to throw another, B2X loan out there and see if I can win on this one as well. But pretty good record as far as I'm concerned. 3 out of 4 times made loads of cash. The one time it was a wash, so I haven't actually lost money, even though you're basically collateralizing your assets, watching the market swings. But yeah, check it out, guys. The links for Lendin and the links for Hodlnaut, which is another staking site to earn interest, are there in the description. Start small, right? Harvey says, what cold storage wallet would you recommend? Doesn't matter. Use Trezor, use a Nano Ledger. It's entirely up to you, whatever you feel comfortable with. There's another I think Moff had a question about something here. I thought I missed it. No. Okay, doesn't matter. Bentley, what do you got for me, bud? Bentley. Yo. All right, he's not paying attention. Let's go to Lewis. Lewis, what's up, buddy?
Oh, hi, Rich.
Good.
I've been following your channel quite for a few time now.
What do you got for me, bud?
I've been following crypto for a few years now. I am also doing trading, and I recommend everyone to learn how to trade. Really, to take time to learn how to trade the different assets, stock market, crypto, forex. On that note, I also recommend some sites that are nice. Realty, if you see.
Do you have a question, Lewis?
No, I just want to talk about what experience did I learn.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to take some questions today, so I'm going to pull you out. Thanks, bud. All right, let's try Bentley again. It looks like I've got his attention. Hey, buddy. You're muted. You're going to have to unmute yourself, bud. It's the mute button at the bottom left of your screen. There's a line through it. All right. Can't do that. Let's try Red Pill Korea.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, how you doing, bud?
Yeah, I'm from South Korea, so English is my mother tongue. It
Okay,
might be a little bit rubbish.
no problem.
So my question is very simple. What do you think about increasing the interest rate of American Reserve Bank? A lot of Koreans are very nervous because this situation could be effects on the asset market, such as housing and stock.
Yeah,
And
so for that, I would tune in next Thursday when I got George Gammon on because he really geeks out on that stuff. There's no question the interest rates are definitely going to keep going up. Inflation it's crazy, it's out of control. So holding on to US dollars, in my view, right now is stupid. I think Bitcoin or even USDC is a far better way to park your cash or any kind of fiat money. But with the market correction with Bitcoin, I mean, why wouldn't you buy Bitcoin?
because I believe if the asset market is going to crash, a lot of people who is not rich needs a lot of cash. So I believe
Okay, but it's already gone through a pretty significant correction, both the stock markets and the cryptocurrency markets. And Bitcoin historically doesn't usually correct more than about 55, 60, 65%. That's it.
okay.
And we're pretty much at that level right now. Maybe it goes down to 25 grand. Who knows? But I don't see it moving much further than where it's at right now. It's going to fluctuate, but I think that this is pretty close to. I mean, listen. For me personally, I've taken out B2X loans. I've accumulated more Bitcoin. I'm just telling you what I've done. You can do whatever you want. I mean, it's not financial advice. If you think the markets are going to crash and you want to sit on the sidelines, then that's a play that you can choose to make. But just make sure that whatever play you guys make, you learn from it. You know, I'm a little bit older than you probably, and I've seen a lot of markets over the last several decades, and I feel comfortable with what I've done, and I'm just sharing with you guys what I've done. And the title of the show is "Profiting from the Shit Show," basically, right?
Okay, thank you for your great opinion. And
Thanks,
before
man.
I go, I want to say you a lot of Korean men like your contents,
I'm glad.
and I also bought your books, and I really appreciate your work, and I will keep it posted.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Why did my camera shut off? That's weird. My camera just randomly shut off. Is it overheating?
I can see you right now.
Yeah, no, it's on. No, okay, thanks, man. Yeah, it's one of the first hot days that I've had this year, and it's not hot in my house, but that's strange. I've never seen this thing shut off before. It is warm though. Anyway, we'll figure that out. Our RJ, let's see what RJ's got. We got a super chat here from a friend, I guess, of our last caller. Hey man, what's going on?
Hey, it's going good. I just had a question regarding like being Canadian and trading. Right now I'm using like the Wealthsimple Trade. I was wondering what you think about that platform and what platform you suggest for Canadians specifically.
And what's your goal? Like, what are you trying to buy exactly?
For crypto, sorry.
I prefer BitBuy. Again, I tend to deal with company. For fuck's sakes, my camera shut off again. Let's try this one more time. I might have to switch over to my webcam. Oh, weird. Yeah, my preference is to deal with BitBuy, and that's simply just because I know guys that are on the board, and I know, like, and trust the company. So you can do what you want. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Kevin O'Leary just bought an interest in something to do with BitBuy, or maybe it was with WellTrade, the one that you're talking about. But fucking hell, here, I gotta switch real quick over to my other camera here. Let's see if I can get my webcam working. There it is. Anyway, bizarre. Let's turn that off. Yeah, just pick one that you like. That's simple and easy to use. It's obviously regulated. They're going to put you through the standard KYC stuff. They're all pretty much the same at the end of the day. Like whichever one you find is the easiest for you to like properly use and navigate through and doesn't complicate your life. I like BitBuy because it's got two simple trading platforms. Like it's got like basic, like simplified, you just buy at market rates if you want, and they've got a more advanced one where if you want to buy it like limit orders, then you can do that. They also have very, very good staff there. So as your account grows, you'll get assigned a personal attendant that you can basically call or text. So I like that component of it as well. So if you're a high net worth individual, then that's a nice place to, take care of your transactions there too.
Sweet. Thanks a lot. That was my question. Thanks,
All right,
Rick.
man.
I've been following you for a long time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, brother. Don't forget to check out the Lendin for staking and Hodlnaut for staking too, right? Let's see here. Bentley, do you have your mic on? You're gonna have to turn your mic on. I see the line through it, so you're still muted. I can't pull you in if you're still muted, bud. Vinicus. Let's try Vinicus here. What do you got for me, Vinicus? Oh, I had John already. What are you still doing there, bud? Guys, once you've done your bit, leave and then just watch from YouTube. It just saves me the hassle of pulling you back in again. I saw camera on, camera off. Anyway, it is what it is. I think we're gonna wrap it up on that note, guys. I covered a whole bunch there. I'm gonna have to disable the comments on this one because the spam bots and all the bullshit. But thanks for watching live, and take advantage of the markets, guys. When there's when people panic, when they're selling, when there's blood in the streets, that's when the rich get richer. That's when the rich buy. And it's an obvious sign to me. I think it's a great buying opportunity. You guys do what you want with your time though, but it's entirely up to you. But I've given you some really good resources here. I'm not selling you anything. The only thing I've done is put a couple of affiliate links in if you want to set up staking accounts with Hodlnaut or Lendin or take advantage of the B2X program. Use them. I like the platforms. I've been using them for a while. Very, very straightforward stuff, guys. That's it. So I'll wrap it up on that note, and we'll see you guys in the next cast. Give it a thumbs up. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.